is in fact en route to Pulwama, to the residence of this Mohammad Umaer, who has currently been arrested. His brother and mother are now currently in police custody in Pulwama. Let me get Wing Commander Sudhakaran into this conversation. On your screens, ladies and gentlemen, is the doctor's registration certificate of Mohammad Umaer. Dr. Umar Nabi, son of Ghulam Nabi Bhatt, qualification of MBBS, graduate Jan 2017 from Government Medical College, Srinagar. He registered himself as a doctor on the 7th of March 2018 in Jammu. He hails from Pulwama in Jammu and Kashmir. Registration number 15313. Ajay Jandyal, my colleague, joining us on the broadcast. Ajay, let's talk about the arrests that have taken place in Pulwama. What information can you share with us?
Yes, that is what our sources are saying, that, Dr. Umar, who has done MBBS from GMC Srinagar, and then he registered himself in Jammu. He's arrested by the Jammu and Kashmir police for the investigation after this Delhi blast took place. And during, investigation, it was found that Umar is a person who have bought this car and then handed over, he basically have spent money for the car as well. Even the person whose picture was basically circulating in the media and the social media, he is Amir, who's the brother of Umar. That is what our sources are saying.
Okay. All right. So let me get Wing Commander Sudhakaran into this conversation. Ajay, I'll come back to you as we have more information that comes in. So Wing Commander Sudhakaran, we have a pretty decent idea now what is taking place. That there was a group of Kashmiri doctors who've been radicalized, operating in several parts of the country. At least 5 of these doctors are now known, not including what has happened in Gandhinagar with the Raisen arrests that have taken place. What do you make of the larger picture on this, sir?
See, I am actually surprised that you are still asking me the larger picture. Don't we know that the last 30 years we've been suffering? What do you not know? Why are we pretending that we don't know? Do you mean that these are just 4 doctors or 5 doctors who got radicalized and they acted of their own? Please understand, it is a whole ecosystem under operation. Next, what is going to happen is there will be the political parties who will say India is unsafe. The whole aim is to target the establishment and bring a strong India down to their knees. This is the playbook that is being played. And the Indian government also wants to keep its eye closed. See, enough of this tactical attack on the terrorist camps. You cannot attack the terror camps and think the problem is going to be solved. The fountainhead of this terrorism is in Rawalpindi. And like Israel attacked the Hamas leadership, Indian government and its armed forces, today I call upon them to target none less than Asim Munir, the DGISI. You get them sorted out, you send them to their coffins back into their burial ground. I am telling you, Pakistan will not dare to look into your eyes for decades. If we keep thinking that I can arrest a few terrorists and I can, target the Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Taiba camps, you take out 1, they will spring 100. These Pakistani bastards, they will actually sleep with 100
take care, sir.
Men.
I mean, there are language restrictions for us, please.
Sorry for that. My blood boils. My blood boils because 8 of my countrymen's blood have been spilled yesterday. And it is not for the first time. It has happened time and again. How long will we restrain ourselves? How long will we start going for evidences? We know why it is happening. You know where it is coming from. Add to this the support of the deep state and China. The only way that we need to handle this is the Israeli way. Target Rawalpindi, target the fountainhead of this terrorism. That is where things will settle. Otherwise, we will be seen as some kind of a nation which doesn't know how to deal with the perpetrators of terrorism who come right inside your house and attack you. They will bleed you day in, day out. And the leadership will not be able to handle this for too long. Imagine, I've been trying to tell this on this show time and again. You can't win a boxing match just by defending it. You can't throw punches in the air and say that I am punching. So what we did in Operation Sindoor was one message. Now let's re-begin Operation Sindoor.
Okay.
Let's start by targeting
Okay, so
Rawalpindi.
let me ask the different tangential question to Sanjay Sai. Sanjay Sai, it is now well established that there is, other than infiltrators, people who cross the LOC with the particular attempt of disguising themselves, or people who come on a dhow or a fishing ship into Mumbai, people who come from across the border. We now know that there are people who are radicalized, who are overground workers, and this is now telling us that some of them get radicalized and get recruited and pick up the weapon and disappear into the mountains. Okay. Now we know that people who are part of the system, they've gone to college in Srinagar, they've graduated college, they've joined hospitals, they are treating patients, but within the same hospital, they are storing weapons, potentially explosives, they are recruiting other doctors, creating a network. These are more than overground workers. These are terrorist cells and modules that are operating within India, within UP, within Delhi, within Haryana, within Jammu and Kashmir. What do we do?
See, the problem was that we were not ready to believe that there is something of this nature is happening, and we were generally publicizing that everything is hunky-dory. Now we have reached a level where they have been able to penetrate and they have become a part of the general masses, wherein you are not in a position to differentiate as to which of these guys is doing what, who is a terrorist, who is not a terrorist. That is where we have arrived. So it needs an all-out war in the internal side I am talking about, wherein we are able to at least identify who these guys are, and it will be a huge amount of effort. It is the internal thing which we need to at least understand as to what it is. This 350 kgs or 2900 kgs and this timer and that material, that is not even the beginning of the story. Let me tell you very, very clearly. Is the radicalized mind. That is the beginning and the end of the story, and that will take us into bleeding grounds of which we have not imagined of. So unless we are able to cleanse this system, and that will be because they have been able to spread their tentacles in a manner which is unimaginable, and before whatever happened in last 2-3 days, or say in October, when Dr. Adil came with the posters, I don't think any of us would have been ready to believe that the doctors can be radicalized to a level where they are actually terrorists, and they are also to play their double role as a doctor, which they have been doing. So there has to be a clarity as to what we intend to do, and we have to take the battle to the finish. It has been happening over and over again. There is absolutely no doubt about it. And most of the times we have seen that the lull period, which we presume as the lull period in the public domain, certainly the intelligence agencies and lots of other agencies are working on it. Undeniably they are doing it. But whatever we see as the lull period, later we come to know that this is the period which has been used for radicalization, for preparation, for perfecting a variety of things. And wherever we have gained an edge, later we have realized that it was a tactical leeway which has been provided.
Pulwama, you have 3 guys who have recce'd just a day or 2 before the site. They've gone in with guns and started shooting people, unarmed civilians, one by one family members. This is again a more complicated operation because you're talking about over months, over years. You are stockpiling the resources, you are radicalizing others, expanding your network. From a point of view of the various threads where you can just get a guy to pick up a gun and go shooting in a shopping mall, and he would kill a lot of people. He would cause a lot of damage, could cause a lot of panic, versus the setting up of bombs and high explosives and increasing the scale from a parcel tiffin box to a car level. What is trying to be achieved here? Why go down this complicated route of technical expertise and bomb making when you can just give somebody a gun and ask them to roam around?
This lone wolf story also, it can reach to only one level. See, the whole exercise is happening to infiltrate, penetrate, and bring the country down to its knees. This is a enterprise level. This is a industry scale terrorist operation end to end. It is a complete scale which we are not ready to accept. It is created, it is perpetrated, it will have its swings, it will have its wins, it will have its losses. Nonetheless, the enterprise will go on. And that is why they make all these effort. They have to perfect the whole game. Now, you're talking about the 2611. Now, the 2611, I think it was only one triangulation strategy by which they were able to get a phone number, if I'm not mistaken, at 12:30 in the night by some European agency, intelligence agency. And from there, they were able to triangulate. And that was the first entry into a real investigation as far as that particular case is concerned. So what you have elaborated so far, how things are happening, things are even much more complex. Only the technology part from where they started in Pakistan and landed in Mumbai, I think the only GPS understanding and the capability, that itself is huge. So it is a terrorist enterprise at scale with a very clear-cut mindset, very clear-cut goal. And the goal is not one operation or the second operation. The goal is that it will be a continuous operation depending on the security environment. Radicalization will permanently remain the goal because that is the only way things can remain hot, even in a lull period. So we have stone pelters who have been radicalized to a different level or provided some conducive environment to these doctors getting
Okay, but
radicalized.
Sanjay ji, before I come, yeah, I need to ask you this question because it'll strike most people watching the broadcast. We saw this in Pulwama, and that's the first thing that struck you, that we are not talking about a tiffin bomb, which is what it used to be. There is a small amount of explosives. You put some nuts and bolts and put it on top of a bicycle and leave it in. We are talking about a car full of explosives. Now, how is this bomb factory being created where we are talking about explosives in the dozens of kilograms, perhaps even in the tons? Where are they coming from?
They are coming from, all of us are aware, they are coming from across the border. It might be coming directly, it might be coming indirectly. There were earlier days, AK-47s used to come in a knockdown condition, and they were assembled in the red terror areas. So they come from whichever areas. These are not the new routes. The routes are also not, basically the modes change, the functionalities change, the parallel routes change. So at least the sourcing part of it, as far as money, capability, and other things are concerned, remains the same. It's just that it might be procured from a different place and come through a different route and finally reaches the destination where the rest of the operation needs to be carried, or it remains in a lull warehouse for a pretty long period of time until the time you are able to plan something and use it for a successful operation. Or if there are some slippages, you allow one or two people to get caught and face the music of the Indian state, and that is where it ends over, and it's a breeding ground. So people will keep coming in, and their party goes on, and India keeps bleeding.
Okay, so then let's come back to the original tangent. Now, a terror attack has happened in the heart of the National Capital, Wing Commander Sudhakaran. Okay, we are pretty sure that the terrorist attack has been conducted in a well organized manner with people who were running bomb factories. These people have been identified. There are doctors from Kashmir who were living, at least 3 of them, in the NCR region. Do we immediately jump to the conclusion Pakistan? And if we jump to that conclusion, what do we do? What action do we take?
I already told you, if we are not jumping into a conclusion, if we are trying to keep our eyes closed. In fact, the previous panelist has very clearly said, what more do we need? How many times should it happen? What evidence do you need? See, when a bullet is fired from a gun, and if you say the bullet is the culprit, then I think we are not doing sense or justice to our own senses. It is not the bullet or the gun that is the problem. It is that person who is pressing the trigger that is the problem. The person who is actually perpetuating this, who is emboldening these kind of radicalists, is the Pakistani army. Let's understand that. India as a state would do great justice to itself and to the people of Pakistan if they can help them rid of Asif Munir. He is holding an entire state to hostage and using the power of that state to bleed India. If we cannot accept this fact and put it out universally and act, see, even if we don't act through our military, I think it is time that we set up a non-state force which will go. There are already non-state forces which are acting. There are a lot of hidden people who are taking down these perpetrators out. But I will be happy if we can take Asif Munir out. That will send